So I think India is self-interested, and they're playing both sides for their own self-interest, not to be malicious towards the U.S. They're not as antagonistic to the U.S. as China is by far. India is like China in this regard, and on the face of things, they seem like they're being unhelpful in the West's drive to condemn and punish Putin and Russia. I mean, India's abstained from votes condemning Russia. Their media seems to be playing some anti-American and anti-Western propaganda about the war, which would probably not be allowed if the prime minister said, stop doing that. But it's more a free press situation like we have here with both sides getting a voice. And there is a large I Stand With Putin campaign in the Indian social media. There is one in America too. But what is happening in the public is not the same as what's going on behind the scenes. Biden and the Biden administration and India's government are working together on how to deal with the issues that are arising in energy, humanitarian consequences, and whatnot. Basically, India is realizing, like China, that Russia is too much of a pain in the ass to deal with when it comes to avoiding Western sanctions. So they're doing some things like bringing in Russian oil, which they have about 13 million barrels. But traditionally, Russia isn't even a top five import of oil for India. Iraq is number one, then U.S., Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE all send more oil to India than Russia does. But it's because I believe India is indifferent to Ukraine's plight, not necessarily that they're shunning the US. And the US is actually working really hard to entice India away from its reliance on Russian military hardware. And it seems to be working because India is already weaning itself off military imports. It fell to 46% of India's total defense imports over the last 5 years, which is down 69% from 69% over the previous 5 years. So it seems to be India seems to be moving away from Russia in a lot of regards. It just in the immediate they're seeing cheap oil and want to buy it. To be honest, India favors the US to China and Russia. There are 4.3 million Indians, more Indians in the US than in China and Russia combined. And India wants to be autonomous, though, from US and Russia. They don't want to be pushed around by China, US, Russia. They want to do their own thing. And I think the government will come to the same conclusion as many of its immigrants into the US, that the US is just the better choice. But the fundamental thing is India wants to align with the US because it's as two of the world's largest democracies, they have a mutual interest in stopping autocracies like China and Russia. But we'll see.